A researcher once set up a camera to observe a dog waiting by the door. Every single day, at the exact same time, the dog took his spot, eyes fixed on the handle, ears twitching at every passing footstep. But here's the heartbreaking reality: his owner had been gone for months. The dog didn't know about the tragedy, he only knew that his world was missing its center. What that dog experienced wasn't just missing someone. Science reveals that the neurological activity in a dog's brain during prolonged separation is indistinguishable from human grief. Most of us would never dream of hurting our dogs on purpose. We buy the best food, provide soft beds, and offer plenty of belly rubs. But there is a massive gap between loving a dog and understanding one. Right now, in the quiet moments of your daily routine, you might be doing things that are systematically breaking your dog's spirit without saying a single word. From the way you walk them to the tone you use when you're tired, you could be sending signals of rejection that leave your dog feeling lost in their own home. Welcome to the dog loyalty community. If you're here, it's because you believe every dog deserves an owner who understands them. Let's grow closer to our best friends, one habit at a time. Tonight, we are going deep into the canine psyche to uncover 7 daily habits you must stop immediately to save your dog's emotional world. Most of us view leaving our dogs at home while we head to work as an inevitable part of modern life. We tell ourselves they are simply napping or, at worst, feeling a bit bored. However, canine psychology tells a much more haunting story. Dogs are not solitary creatures, they are pack animals to their very core. In the wild, a dog separated from its pack isn't just lonely, it is biologically programmed to feel vulnerable and endangered. When you close that door for 8 to 10 hours a day, what occurs inside your dog's brain isn't patient waiting. It is a genuine emotional crisis. Research into canine cortisol, the stress hormone, has revealed that the physiological response in dogs left alone for extended periods is not one of mild discomfort. Instead, it is indistinguishable from human grief. They do not possess a complex understanding of clocks or work shifts. They only know that the most vital beings in their universe have vanished, and they have no way of knowing if or when you will return. The most dangerous part of this crisis is that it is often invisible. Not every dog expresses their heartbreak by howling or destroying your favorite pair of shoes. Many dogs suffer in a state of learned helplessness. They become lethargic. They stop playing with their toys, and the emotional light in their eyes slowly dims. Owners often return home to a calm dog and assume they are well behaved, unaware that the dog is actually experiencing a low-level depressive state. To mitigate this, we must bridge the gap of your absence. Providing a scent bridge, such as a worn t-shirt or a blanket you've slept on, can stimulate the pleasure centers in their brain and provide a sense of security. Utilizing high-level mental enrichment, like puzzle feeders or long-lasting chews, can shift their brain from anxiety mode to problem-solving mode. Most importantly, remember that while your return is just the end of a workday for you, for your dog, it is the resurrection of their entire world. This form of hurt is perhaps the most subtle because it happens even when you are physically present in the room. Imagine a day where everything went wrong at the office. You are exhausted, frustrated, and mentally drained. You walk through the door, ignore your dog's enthusiastic wagging tail, sit on the couch, and disappear into your smartphone. To you, this is unwinding. To your dog, this is an unexplained social penalty. Dog behaviorists have confirmed that dogs process human emotional cues using the same hemisphere of the brain that humans do, the left side, which is responsible for emotional recognition. They are master students of your posture, the micro-expressions on your face, the rhythm of your sighs, and even the chemical changes in your sweat. Because their survival has depended on reading humans for thousands of years, they are hypersensitive to your vibe. When you withdraw emotionally, providing no eye contact, no soft words, and no physical touch, your dog does not think, "Oh, my human had a bad day at the office." Instead, their evolutionary instinct leads them to one conclusion: I have done something wrong. Silence, in the language of the pack, is a form of shunning. If this happens repeatedly, it creates a cycle of attachment anxiety. The dog may become Velcro-like, desperately clinging to you to seek reassurance, or they may eventually stop trying to connect altogether to protect themselves from the confusion of rejection. You don't need to perform fake happiness when you're tired. A simple to a soft-spoken, "I'm home, buddy, I'm just tired," accompanied by a gentle pat, is often enough to tell them that the bond is still secure. It costs you seconds, but it saves them hours of self-doubt. While isolation creates a distant ache, the way we communicate directly through our voice can instantly shatter the sense of security within a dog's mind. The illusion of authority through yelling. Many of us still fall into the trap of believing that raising our voices, yelling, or using harsh booming tones is the best way to establish discipline and assert our role as the alpha. However, from the perspective of canine psychology, volume is never synonymous with respect. When you yell, your dog's nervous system does not register a lesson. Instead, it identifies a terrifying signal of unpredictability. In a dog's world, unpredictability coming from their most trusted human is one of the most threatening experiences they can endure. The moment a dog hears sudden yelling, their heart rate spikes and cortisol, the primary stress hormone, floods their brain, forcing them into a primitive threat response mode. A dog who obeys out of fear displays very specific body language: pinned back ears, a tucked tail, and whale eyes, showing the whites of their eyes. This isn't obedience born of understanding, it is submission born of terror. If this becomes a regular occurrence, the dog's brain physically rewires itself to remain in a state of hypervigilance whenever you are near, turning what should be a safe haven into a source of constant chronic stress. The power of the vocal signature. Contrastingly, the true power to influence a dog's behavior lies in the consistency of your vocal signature. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to sound frequencies and the emotional energy vibrating behind your words. A calm, clear, and firm tone provides them with a social anchor. It tells them exactly what is expected without triggering their internal alarm system. Positive reinforcement and trust-based boundaries do not mean a lack of discipline. They mean building cooperation through security. When you communicate with stillness and composure, you send a biological signal that says, "Everything is under control." This allows the dog's nervous system to relax, opening up their cognitive ability to learn rather than just looking for a place to hide. The difference between a dog that follows you because they love you and one that follows you because they are scared of the alternative is monumental. It determines whether you have a happy companion or a creature living in emotional suppression. Eliminating noise in the rules. Effective communication also requires removing the noise of inconsistent rules. Dogs are pattern seekers. If you laugh when they jump on you while you're wearing old clothes, but yell at them for the same jump when you're dressed for work, you are creating a psychological maze with no exit. This inconsistency leads to self-doubt and quiet anxiety. By committing to a household-wide set of predictable rules and vocal cues, you allow your dog to finally relax, knowing exactly how to succeed in your world. For most owners, a walk is a physical task to be completed. For a dog, it is a sensory odyssey that defines their connection to the world beyond your four walls. The biology of the nose. To understand why rushing a walk hurts your dog, you must first understand the sheer magnitude of their sensory experience. While humans have roughly 5 million scent receptors, dogs possess upward of 200 to 300 million. Their sense of smell is so sophisticated that they don't just smell an object, they see its history. When your dog stops to sniff a patch of grass for a full minute, they aren't wasting time. They are reading a complex biological narrative: who was there, how long ago they passed, their health status, and even their emotional state. When you pull the leash and drag them away from a scent, you are effectively tearing the pages out of a book they are trying to read. This creates a state of chronic frustration. Over time, a walk that is constantly interrupted by a human's hurry stops being a source of joy and becomes a source of stress. The power of sniffing. Decompression. Neurologically, the act of sniffing is linked to the lower-level processing parts of the brain that regulate calm and focus. In canine psychology, this is known as a decompression walk. When a dog is allowed to lead with their nose, their heart rate lowers and they enter a state of flow. Studies have shown that a 15-minute walk where a dog is allowed to sniff freely is more mentally exhausting and emotionally satisfying than a 45-minute fast-paced jog on a short leash. Physical exhaustion is easy to achieve, but emotional satisfaction requires sensory engagement. When we treat the walk like a chore to be gotten over with, we starve our dogs of the mental stimulation they need to remain balanced at home. The accumulation of frustration. The consequences of rushed walks often manifest inside the house. Many owners complain about zoomies, excessive barking, or restlessness in the evening, blaming it on a lack of exercise. However, the issue is often a lack of mental decompression. A dog that hasn't been allowed to be a dog outdoors will struggle to be a calm companion indoors. By simply slowing down, loosening the leash, and letting their nose lead the way, you aren't just walking your dog. Bypassing your own schedule to meet their needs, you are providing them with the emotional medicine they crave. To truly connect, how we must learn to love the sentient being standing in front of us rather than the idealized shadow we have constructed in our minds. Every dog is a distinct individual with a unique neurological blueprint. However, a common mistake many owners make is attempting to mold their dog into a predefined ideal that fits a human lifestyle. Canine psychologists refer to this as emotional suppression. This occurs when you force an introverted, sensitive dog into high-stimulation environments like crowded parks, or when you label a dog with high bonding needs as clingy and intentionally push them away to foster independence. When you repeatedly prevent a dog from expressing its core nature, the result is not a better-behaved pet, but a creature living in a state of chronic, low-level stress. Because dogs cannot speak to explain their discomfort, this internal mismatch eventually manifests as behavioral issues, what humans often dismiss as bad behavior or stubbornness. In reality, these are cries for help from a dog whose fundamental identity is being rejected. The shift toward healing is simple but profound. Observe who your dog actually is. When a dog feels seen and accepted for their true personality, the defensive walls of anxiety fall away, transforming the relationship from one of mere cohabitation to a genuine, soul-deep connection. Dogs are individuals with unique neurological blueprints, yet we often try to mold them into an ideal version that fits our lifestyle. This is called emotional suppression. How when we force an introverted dog into crowded parks or push away a bonded dog to foster independence, we trigger chronic, low-level stress. Because dogs cannot vocalize their discomfort, this rejection of their identity often manifests as bad behavior or stubbornness. True healing begins when we stop projecting our expectations and start observing who our dogs actually are. When a dog feels seen and accepted for their true personality, anxiety fades, transforming your bond from simple cohabitation into a soul-deep connection. The final step in securing your dog's emotional world lies in the quiet power of a steady gaze and a life without surprises. Consistency as security. Dogs are the ultimate pattern seekers, and their emotional security is built entirely on predictability, knowing what to expect from their environment and their human. When rules are inconsistent, such as being allowed on the couch on Friday but scolded for it on Monday, it creates a psychological noise that prevents the dog from ever truly relaxing. To a dog, a world without consistent rules is a world without safety. By establishing and sticking to a clear set of household boundaries, you provide your dog with the mental freedom to stop worrying about what might happen next. The oxytocin gaze. Beyond rules, there is the biological necessity of connection. Scientific studies have confirmed that mutual gaze between a dog and their owner triggers a massive release of oxytocin, the love hormone, in both species. This is the same chemical bond that connects a parent to a newborn. When we are constantly distracted by our phones or rushing through feedings, we starve our dogs of this vital chemical reassurance. A few minutes of undistracted presence, eye to eye and heart to heart, does more for a dog's emotional health than any expensive treat or toy ever could. The emotional pain dogs experience often stems not from malice, but from our failure to understand their unique emotional language. Being a great owner doesn't require complex knowledge, only a willingness to slow down, listen to their silence, respect their sense of smell, and honor their individual personality. When you choose to change by softening your tone and offering your full presence, you create an extraordinary bond. They have given us their absolute loyalty. It is time we repay them with our deepest understanding. Your dog deserves to be understood. If this helps you see them in a different light, please like, share, and subscribe to the Dog Loyalty channel. Join a community of owners who truly understand their dog's language. Let's bond more with our best friends, one routine at a time.